Hello, I'm Professor Matthew Freeman, and welcome to Political Science 102, Introduction to American Government. I want to begin this semester by clearing the air and saying for the record that I understand that for some of you, talking about politics is about as much fun as a hammer to the head. Beyond this, for some of you, you don't see why learning about politics and government is important. Our most recent studies support this. Time and time again, election year after election year, engagement in fulfilling the most basic of civic duties and participation in the political process is on the decline, particularly for Americans between the ages of 18 and 28 years. I remember watching the season finale of American Idol. Yes, I watch American Idol. It was 2006, and I remember being dumbfounded when Ryan Seacrest told the world that in the previous night of voting, more Americans had voted for the next American Idol than have ever voted for an American president in the history of our country. Let us pause for a moment to let that sink in. Now, for obvious reasons, Mr. Seacrest was quite proud of this, and I turned off the television and began thinking of how I could change this. What could I do differently in my classes to eradicate a cultural perspective that says to our youth that politics is insignificant and that knowing what our government can and cannot do is unimportant, at least when compared to American Idol? And then it hit me like a hammer to the head, only it was a good thing. I began to understand that this cultural perspective that has lowered the political discourses in America to the level of the socially taboo is simply a result of starting off on the wrong foot. You see, it all comes down to language. Language, and our ability to understand it. Have you ever had a group of friends that were really into cars or computers? And every time they started talking about transmissions, camshaft, gigabytes, or hard drives, you had to leave the room because you didn't understand what they were talking about. And as a result, you were excluded from the conversation. In the study of linguistics, having a specialized language that only relates to a specific field of study is called a jargon. If you think about it, every discipline at this college, whether it be math or psychology, has its own specific and almost unique language, a jargon, that when understood can provide insight into a variety of things in our world and how those things can dramatically shape our place within that world. The study of political science is no different. To understand politics and government, you first need to understand its language. And the language of political science is like many other sciences, insofar as it is inherently complex and uses all different kinds of words, metaphors, and theoretical models to create different understandings and interpretations of how our political world is organized. My hope is that by the end of this semester, you will understand this language and be able to actively engage our political world with the capacity to interpret it, understand it, and when necessary, change it. To do this, however, requires us to do something that for the past few years the youth in America have slowly stopped doing. To talk openly about politics. To immerse ourselves in a classical political dialogue. So in this classroom, and hopefully outside of it, throughout this semester and beyond, let us begin this process. A process of turning our coffee shop conversations away from American Idol and toward American politics. Thank you.